So let's take a look at this. This is SAT score who used Cover My Replay on his Petropavlovsk. Now, the Petropavlovsk is a Tier 10 Soviet cruiser. It's a pretty ridiculous Soviet cruiser, to be quite honest. It's got a 360-degree rear turret, which makes it very comfortable for, shooting whatever you need to. It's got improved improved AP angles, right?
Slightly improved.
Yeah.
Yep. It's like 50-65 as opposed to the 45-60. So 5 degrees better.
Right.
Not quite the Moin levels improved, but a little bit.
Right. Which obviously helps it be a little bit more comfortable shooting AP because this is an AP slinging cruiser. Rarely do you ever find yourself shooting HE in it. She's got radar that reaches out to 12 kilometer, although it's a pretty short duration of that radar. The action time is quite reduced, so keep that in mind. You might need to do things like SAT's done here to increase the duration, the action time of it. Old Black Dog, nope, unfortunately not. Supposedly, Wargaming has not forgotten about it, but whenever they have something to share, they will share it with everybody. So let's take a look at your build then. And this is also True Strange. And if they had shared specifics with me, obviously I couldn't say anything about that. So you've got main armaments modification 1, surveillance radar, right, to get your radar duration up, aiming systems, propulsion, concealment, and the unique upgrade. Now, propulsion is very helpful for this ship because even though the rudder shift time is quite high, her turning circle is quite large at nearly 1 kilometer. So typically the Petro is going to park itself by an island, and having the propulsion allows it to move a lot quicker forward or backward from a stop.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so that comes in
as
handy.
ridiculous as her armor is in general, if you get caught broadside, it's not worth a thing anymore.
No, well, and they've nerfed the armor as well. They raised the citadel on her from when she was originally released because it was even worse before. Hello, Ibua, how you doing? So let's talk about the unique upgrade for a second here as I pour myself some more water. The unique upgrade goes in slot 6. So you miss out on reload is what you typically take, or maybe range in a clan battle competitive environment. But what you gain from this is you gain dispersion 10%, and you gain AP shell damage. And like I had said, this is an AP slinging ship. So the unique upgrade is one of those that really leans into that AP and the performance of the AP. But it comes at a price. It's a pretty hefty one. You lose 1 of each of your consumables. That's right, you lose 1 hydro, you lose 1 radar, you lose 1 repair party, and yeah, because damage control is unlimited. I just want to double check. But anyway, so big thing is you lose a heal and you lose a radar. The hydro is nice, but it's not as big of a deal. Let's go ahead and take a look then at your commander build. You've got Zemensky on this ship. Zemensky is a good choice because of the buff to grease the gears. And then you've got gun feeder, so you can switch back and forth between AP and HE quickly if you need to. SAT, what things are you using HE on in this ship?
Mostly destroyers. And then stubborn people who refuse to unankle themselves.
I'm surprised you
okay.
don't have Kuznetsov to give yourself a chance to get that consumable back.
This is my alt account, so I actually don't have Kuznetsov here.
Well, that would explain it.
Right. Also, I mean, most of the time, at least for me, I know, I have Kuznetsov on Kremlin. Because, like, for that's even more important because you get the extra DCP charge that way. But yeah, Kuznetsov is fine too on the Petro. So, chat, as you guys can see, people are commenting quickly because we do have a giveaway going for a special permanent camouflage. You have to be a follower on Twitch, and you have to be writing anything on Twitch. So, putting that out there. If you are watching on YouTube, this might be your opportunity. Get on over like what Tango Fan did. Thank you very much for the follow. make sure you get over to Twitch, follow, and say something. You have to do anything on Twitch, okay? You got 5 minutes to get into it, about 4 now. Okay, so besides the gun feeder, you went for consumables enhancements. I'm guessing that's to keep your radar up even longer, mostly. Yep, you got superintendent because you need to do something to counteract the loss of consumable. You've got survivability expert, adrenaline rush, concealment expert, and then you went with top grade gunner. These ships, these Soviet cruisers, are really good with top grade gunner because most of the time you're sitting bow in on something, they're sitting bow in on you, and it just becomes a DPM race. So buffing your DPM there comes in really handy. You know, you could always do radiolocation as well, but Soviet cruisers, aside from their 12-kilometer radar, aren't really well suited to hunting down destroyers. And especially with your radar having such a low duration, it's not a good anti-destroyer cruiser. So I see the reasoning behind top grade over radiolocation. For signal flags, you've got fire extinguishing, fire chance, both of them. Repair boosting, speed boosting, consumables. Hello, Evil Homer. And then you've gone the hydro flag. Okay.
No
Good
hitbox
choices.
flag, or is it bugged?
I completely forgot.
He did not, because everybody got that flag, but it's not equipped automatically. So unless you think to go and double check, you probably forget. That's happened to me too. But obviously the HP flag is good to use. I'm curious as to the fire chance flags, because do you really find yourself shooting HE that often?
So even though Petro's AP is very good, as I said, there's a good amount of enemies that you still have to fire HE at. Destroyers, angled ships. So just increasing that fire chance doesn't hurt.
Okay. The reason I was bringing it up is because I would probably take a ram flag over a fire chance, because there's a good chance you're going to ram something.
I think, like, if you wanna pick up a different flag, I think the fire chance ones are the ones you drop for it. But as I said, like, this is a ship where you typically want to shoot AP. Like, no matter if you have the legendary mode or not, you pretty much exclusively want to shoot AP. But you don't always get into a situation where you can do this, because like bow on your AP does nothing.
Right.
And then
or you
have
can
to
take out
switch.
turrets maybe. The other flag that's worth considering dropping the fire chance flag for is probably the flood recovery one. With you being so steady, like, you know, in one place, it does make you susceptible to subs and carriers, both of which can flood you. So
The AA range is quite nice, so I wouldn't even mind an AA flag.
AA flag, even better choice than the flood reduction. Yes, anti-air flag. I didn't even realize he hadn't taken that. But yes, the anti-air being 6.6 kilometer, sure. Plus you ward off the carriers by taking that flag.
Yep. Originally, this build was supposed to be for clan battles, so that's why a lot of it's not really that optimized for randoms.
Right.
So yes.
Yep. And in clan battles, I can see this. Go ahead.
Yeah, as you said, I should have taken the ram signal flag, and I completely forgot the HP flag. AA flag was definitely very helpful in randoms.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Cool. Well, let's go ahead and get into the replay then, and see how this game plays out. All right. I see a thumbs up on my message to Weatherlight, so hopefully he's back in the chat for when we get to his game. So this is a random battle on Greece. Congratulations, super ships. However, no subs and no carriers. Wow.
I will gladly take the no carriers, no subs.
Yeah, right? And this ship, let's face it, even though she's a tier 10, she's really a 10.5 or something. She's one of the most OP tier 10 ships.
Not quite as strong in randoms because the typical combat rangers are a bit further, but in clan battles, definitely worthy of being banned forever.
Yeah, well, and we see her banned very often in King of the Sea and other tournaments as well. But she's a great ship in randoms too for taking advantage of people who don't understand to not show broadside, and then people who don't look for cross shots or being, cross shotted. So
Besides her improved AP angles, her penetration is on par with battleships. So like a lot of newer players do not expect to get citadel by Petros at like 15 kilometers in their battleships.
right, absolutely. And SAT loves the ship so much that he's put the steel camo on it. Probably because you play it an awful lot in clan battles, right?
Nope, I only play destroyers.
Oh. Now, if you look at his positioning, he's in a kite-away position. I often talk about this as a very strong early position to put any cruiser in. You look over your shoulder, and you control the engagement. You can reverse to get closer, and then when it's time to get out, you just hit 4 Ws, and you can run away pretty darn quickly. That's one way to play the ship. Look, the Zhao's doing that too. Another way to play it is to find an island to butt up to. So one of the other things that SAT could have done, and we might see him do in a little bit, is go up to this island on the border and then just put himself right up against it. That's also a very strong position for this ship.
It always depends on what the situation is. In this case, I don't have any information on how the enemy's deployed, so the kiting position is a bit safer to start with.
Right, and that's why I said I think we're going to see him move up to that, because that's probably, once you know where things are generally, then you feel comfortable starting to move and take a more aggressive position.
So with that accuracy boost, even at near my max range, I'm still able to chunk that broadside Kearsarge for a good amount.
You did good on him. It looked like a couple of them were torp protection hits, so oof. But still, you're right. You did some work on him.
Yep.
And now SAT is up on the border.
Zath read my mind. He knows exactly what I'm going to do.
Yeah, it's almost like I play this game too. And it's almost like I've seen enough of your replays to know, like, when I put out replays on YouTube, I have different skill levels, and that's not to offend any person that sends in a replay, but a lot of times when I look at SATs, these are like, advanced player choices, player replays, and so not surprised to see you using this island. Also, I want to mention he used the border, and that's really important in these ships too, because their biggest weakness is getting citadeled from the side. So using an island, using a border, helps to prevent one of your sides from being citadeled. Now, I would expect to see you slow down here, but are you trying to get this kill on the Wujing? Is that why you're moving full speed? And the Wujing's still showing side.
Dead, you can just keep pushing.
Or back up, one of the two, but yeah. I would probably back up. Oh, look, a Zhao. Oh, look, torpedo spotted by Hydro because you were thinking Zhao could torp you.
Yeah, unfortunately, the spread is a little bit still not favorable, so I take one on the bow.
It's fine. It's one torpedo versus a whole buttload of them. The big thing is, obviously he's turning, and he's probably going to fire off more torpedoes at you. So,
and also, you see that Petro on the B cap?
Yep.
Yeah, that's the exact reason I didn't go above the island.
Yes. So, again, I was talking about watching your sides, okay? He's looking, Los Andes also, and Petro both have side shots on him. This is what informs his decision to back up. Now, note, if you're still in chat, note, you were talking about how a good player responds to torpedo threats. Just by reversing and slightly turning, if the Zhao does fire off another rack of torpedoes, he's completely whiffing them. Especially once he gets behind this island. Those torpedoes no longer matter. All right, So now we're seeing HE being fired. And then the Zao shows up, so you're just like, oh, hell no.
Yeah, I only have one less heal, so I need to be careful on how I choose my engagements.
Right. If the torpedoes miss, use the guns.
So you are encouraged to use AP in this ship, but the improved accuracy does help the HE quite a bit as well.
Yep. And look, there's the torpedoes fired from the Zao. What do you know? Now, as far as how to dodge torpedoes and stuff like that, like when SAT detected the Zao torpedoes, he probably already knew he was going to take one on the bow, and there's really not much he could do about it. If he tried to turn, there's always the threat that he misses the turn and takes more than one, and there's always the threat too that he turns in a way that enables other ships to citadel him by showing too much side. Speaking of showing too much side, I'm surprised you're not switching to AP yet.
Nope. I was thinking that how far might scope in the area.
Aha.
If you're in such a big ship with such a huge turning circle,
So-
like, sorry.
Finish your
okay.
thought, Grunty.
So,
It's like-
oh, go on.
Like in general, like if you dodge the torps and you're such a big ship, there's a good chance if you try to avoid the torp that is right on your nose, that you're actually eating two instead, because the ship is so sluggish and is so long and takes so much to turn.
Yeah,
So
that's what I was saying.
Just be content with, okay, I just take the one and leave it at that.
Right. Okay, go ahead, SAT.
So I think that was the Halford's planes that was coming in, like right as I was making the cross, right?
Okay. Okay, so if he
So-
figured that's Halford, then he's not moving a ship.
Yep, and he was last spotted in a cap like literally 20 seconds ago.
Yep. And there's a smoke screen that he probably put out for himself.
Yep.
Okay.
And so I figured this was probably a good time to use one of my 3 radars, because if he's controlling his planes, he's not controlling his ship. So I might
Right.
have a chance to take him out.
Okay. I like the use of deduction there to get you that point. And as a matter of fact, he's still not moving.
Ship is on fire.
So, bye-bye.
Enemy destroyer foundered.
Okay, so I understand why you didn't switch to the Petro, even though the Petro was showing you a beautiful shot, because obviously killing the destroyer is more valuable.
Yep.
Problem solved, sir.
Now, you're not healing yet. Is that so your AR is buffed?
Yeah. Now, I'm fairly safe in this position, so I'm not worried about losing too much HP.
Gotcha. Yeah, this is a strong position for you. You saw that 2 iron meals on a sub? Oh god. Free double ping for you. Nice. Five pens on the Keksarge, pretty good.
That is why this mod feels so good to play.
And this mod, you mean the unique upgrade?
Yes, the unique upgrade.
Yep. Because basically, when you get those pens, you're getting 10% more damage out of those pens.
I could, and you could take heavy AP to make it 15% stronger, but I think that would sacrifice a little bit too much survivability.
Yeah, it's one of the difficulties with your build. We didn't talk about it, but if you take heavy AP, that's a 3-point skill, so you're either giving up survivability expert, superintendent, or adrenaline rush to do that.
I
So-
think if you wanted, you give up the top grade gunner.
Top grade gunner is, yeah, I might have to give that up, but it's, I value the 8% reload a little bit more.
Right. So that's the problem with when you're building out the ships. You want to take everything, you just can't. Oh look, it's your friendly Zao.
Yeah, at this point, I was just trying to figure out what's my best targets, because everyone's 10 miles away, so nothing
Yes.
really ideal.
And your team is dying. So, yeah.
Yeah, when your team is dying and you have to push into enemies, it's not terribly ideal.
Right. You're not getting benefit from top grade gunner right now. This is true. And heavy AP is a flat bonus, yes, assuming you're shooting AP.
Yeah, but you saw that I was using HE a fair amount as well. So I'm getting more use out of the accuracy bonus instead.
And the ironic thing is right now, because the Sherman was spotted in your range, you actually got top grade gunner right there. And again.
So Sherman was running down the Chungmu, so that's why I was thinking I could probably pop out right now if I can kill that destroyer that frees up the Chungmu to do other things.
Right. Like go and torp
And-
literally everything else in the battle.
Yep. And also, he has no support, so Sherman, if I catch Sherman out, then he is effectively dead.
Mm-hmm.
And Sherman didn't have enough time to get behind the island because he's too slow.
Yep. And now you're gonna heal
Yes.
because you know you're taking some damage.
Yep.
It's actually a really, really weird decision for the German to try to chase down the Chengmu.
Uh-huh.
Just because
Well-
he's in such a slow ship and completely out of position making that chase.
I also
But
don't
he's
know
not-
why he slowed down there too.
Right. He's not thinking about bad position. He's thinking, okay, we've won this flank, so let's now push. Remember, I told you before, players' default decision is to push when they don't know what to do, and that's a great example of the Sherman doing that, and you taking advantage of it. Now, the Ushakov dying though is huge because now you have a lot less threat on your side.
Problem
I
solved,
was
sir.
looking for Colombo just in case, but
Of course.
my plan was to move up to the next island and maybe get a better angle on the two ships here.
Yep. Yep. Meanwhile, you can use this island to your right in front of you to mask some of that advancement and also kind of get you coming around, bow in on the Zhao and the Petro. And I know you wish you could have shot the Kexars right now, but he's too far away.
Yep. Didn't have range mod, unfortunately.
Absolutely, Wolfie. And that's why I always say you have to know your ship and how you play it. Because if you don't, you know, and then you make a decision like heavy AP versus whatever, okay, I mean, you know, you've kind of become inefficient with your use of skills there. Oof. Rip your Satsuma.
Not much I can do on the other flank, so I just do what
Yep.
I can.
Yep.
At this point, I figure like the cap, like C and D cap is safely in enemy hands, and we can barely even contest B. So at
Right.
the very least, I need to get the ships off my flank.
Absolutely, you do. Yep. And the Zhao goes bow into you, and look at what you did to him with AP anyway. And then of course you switch to HE, and then he gives you side.
All stations. Reporting the position of a strategic target.
I was thinking I was gonna keep using AP because I was gonna try and trap him, force him to stay bow in.
The enemy is about to win.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason for that is if he turns out, I punish him. If he stays in, I still get to farm more damage, and
Oh.
yeah, and he dies.
Good Citadel there. It's too bad
So
that the
weird.
Changmu died to the Petro radar.
I felt like that Sao played this really, really well up until this last minute.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm
Well,
not sure what he was thinking either, but that ain't my problem.
I think he's looking at the score and saying we won, just like the Sherman. By the way, I didn't catch it in time, but good use of aim there on the Zhao. You knew that he was going to be not giving you enough side, so you aimed higher up on purpose so you can hit the superstructure. And look at the value of 360-degree turrets. I mean, granted you can't shoot right now, but if that island wasn't there, you could be shooting. So it just makes the ship so comfortable. Still,
yeah,
you are down a lot, and don't look. Remember, the points are reversed. It's a replay bug.
Actually,
Yeah.
it's not.
Huh? No, they have 3 caps. We only have 1, and they have
Oh yeah, right. Never mind.
850.
Yeah.
Solid retreat, says the Sherman.
Yeah, I noticed the Shimakaze torped right there. But I was like, you know what? We need to kill the Petro first.
And there goes the Navarin. So, what you really need to happen now is a series of time extensions. Oh, I love this.
Yeah.
I love this. You had HE in the barrels thinking he was going to be Baoan, and of course he was turning.
Thankfully, he was low HP, so I just aimed for the superstructure.
Yeah. Alright, so what you have to do now is you have to hope that the Columbo comes out, like broadside, and low health, so you can just destroy him.
Given their HP pool when I saw earlier, I figured, well, I'm just farming damage at this point, because
Right.
we're probably not going to win.
Right, but what I'm saying is that's your win condition. Or Salem. Salem can come out broadside too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god. Well. Green Monster, the unique upgrade over firing range for randoms is maybe not as useful, but I think SAT is demonstrating how it can still be helpful.
It can still be helpful, but I would honestly just recommend range instead in randoms.
Now here, I'm surprised you didn't stay with AP and go for like superstructure or even turrets.
Not enough time.
True. Hey, look, Columbo. Hey, look, he's showing you side. Hey,
Even
look,
though
the Ohio killed the Salem.
I want to finish off Salem, but I was like, I need to go hit Columbo now. Otherwise,
Oh, yeah.
I'll lose the chance.
Yeah, and the Ohio with a huge kill.
Yeah, he was in WD, so I figure it's worth hoping that he knows how to play.
Yep. And I like how you swing to the side a little bit here, but not enough to give Columbo a good shot on you. And then this Columbo just keeps turning sideways. I think you would be better suited firing a little bit farther forward.
I think that's where I estimated his magazine was, so
Okay.
I was hoping to get Citadels.
Right. But I mean, if you shoot under the first turret too, I think you could Citadel him that way, but... Anyway.
Oh yeah, you can pause the game here again.
Okay.
So, do you remember the torps that passed by Ohio earlier?
Yes.
So, right now the points are okay. Switch the score. The enemy has 945 and 3 caps. We have 1 cap. So there's no way I can jump into the cap and hope to win. We don't even
Right.
have enough time anyways.
Correct. That would just slow down things, buy you about 10 seconds at this point.
Yeah. So our only chance is to go for the kill.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah. And remember what I said about torpedoes?
Mm-hmm.
So that gives me a clue as to where their last destroyer is.
Mm-hmm.
So
And yes, the Shima said, "Oh no," in chat. So where do you think the destroyer is right now? Where do you think he is?
So he torped it around to F2, and it was from the southern direction, so around G3. So I was expecting it somewhere in like the FGH area.
Yep. Yep. And the Ohio is still detected too, which tells you, you know. So if I see that, and I'm thinking he's probably going to be like around here,
Yep.
which is well within your radar range. All right, let's continue.
I still have to hold the radar because there's no point in me radaring unless I have the ability to shoot.
Right.
What's your excuse of holding the Hydra?
No
That's
real
true.
point.
I would probably use it, and you never know.
I was
Okay.
focusing on finding where the Shima is, so I didn't.
And-
it probably
yep.
just occurred to me.
Yep. And since you are spotted, you know that he's not behind an island, which means you can shoot him. So, haha, I win button.
So how many of these opponents did you pay for that in the end?
Mostly the Shima, although I did give the Zao a stipend.
There you go.
Like none of these ships should have pushed in there, and so they're like, "Oh, yeah, please kill me.
But again,
I don't want to win."
that's the default. That's the default behavior. Is I don't know what to do. I'm going to advance. And I think like especially in this case, the teams they thought they had the easy win, so they win harder. That's just how it is. The Petro was actually being very smart. He was trying to duck behind the island so that either he could heal or if he was out of heals, he could just survive. But SAT caught him before he can get behind the island. So, I mean, and the Zhao, I mean, he looked at it. He had so much more hit points than SAT, and it's a 2v1. So he probably thought this is easy. Go in, just burn him down. Didn't quite work out for him.
He didn't realize the fight was isolated, and he was stuck bow in against a AP spamming Petro.
Correct.
Not a very fun situation.
Correct. And his buddy Petro was shooting something else anyway, I think. Or was shooting you, but also you were bow into him, so that didn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, a very good master class in how to Petro, and also using deduction to figure out and inform your decision making of where to aim, where to go, and when to use your consumables. Because those were 2 radars that you used very well out of your 3, right? That resulting in kills essentially. And when you're using that unique upgrade, you don't have many radars to just spam away. So you absolutely need to know, when's the right time to use it. So. Nice work on all these guys. I want to look at how much damage you did to the Zhao. So you only hit him with AP. Huh. Okay. Interesting. About 1,000 damage per shell hit's pretty good, huh?
It's pretty solid.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just getting Stream Raiders ready. Loyalty boss chest over on Stream Raiders, guys. And then there's the Cac Sarge. And who else did you hit? Like, I mean, you like literally, you must have damaged like, let's see, how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's only one ship on their team that you did not damage in any way. That's pretty impressive, dude.
No, I still didn't Confederate. Now I feel ripped off.
And you didn't Confederate. No, did you? I thought you Confederated. Yeah, you did.
Did I?
Yeah,
Oh,
you got it.
Fine. I didn't. I got ripped off because I didn't get Kraken.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know which one it was that you didn't hit. I think it was the Delarna.
You didn't get the Kraken because you decided to shoot the Colombo instead of the Salem.
Which honestly was the right choice. Win the battle.
Unfortunately, it was the right choice.
Right. Tang Fan, hey, thank you very much for your Twitch Prime sub. Appreciate you, man. It's really nice of you. Thank you. Is there anything else in the report that we want to look at here? Look at your AP damage and look at your HE damage. Very interesting, because you got about twice as many hits with AP, and look at how much more damage you did there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Also, can you check how many war bounces, penetrations, etc.?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Yeah, the majority are actually penetrations. That's a
Yeah.
lot higher than I expected.
Yeah, but there's the HE pens in it. Don't forget about that.
Well, yeah, some of them are going to be HE as well. Green Monster, thank you as well. You subscribed for 3 months. Wow, thank you so much.
Green Monster 34 just subscribed for 3 months.
Oh my god, that started a hype train. Oh goodness. Oh goodness. No doubt one of the best WoW streams. The Green Monster, that's really nice of you. Thank you so much for all the support. And the rest of you guys too. But so we need to get to the replay render, so let's go ahead and pop that up.
As you mentioned earlier, a lot of my success was coming from inferring what the enemy's going to do.
Mm-hmm.
The first major one was against the Halford, since I saw his plane up in the air and that he was pretty recently around me, I thought,
Mhm.
hey, I can maybe spend one of my 3 radars and maybe get him out.
Yeah, no, and honestly, most of this battle was it's really just about timing. And I think for you, for if this one goes to YouTube, I think like intuition would be, a good title, yeah.
It's something it takes a while to learn. Like you won't be like you can have mastery of the mechanics on the first day, but just understanding what to do at the right time takes a lot of time to learn.
Yeah.
Like I did all of that thought process on the spot. Like when I saw the Halford planes up in the air, I was like, okay, I know where he is. I'm going to try and radar. And
Yep.
Shima at the end, that's because I still remembered where his torps were. So I was like, well, he's there somewhere. So if I can catch him out with my radar, I can win the game. So like it's all like it sounds all simple and stuff, but remember, we're doing it in the middle of the battle, and especially for that Shima, it's at the very end of the battle where the adrenaline's running high. So a lot of things can easily be forgotten.
Yes. So, no, I think it's a fantastic. I think this is one of those replays where there's just so many things that you can learn about the game from just talking through it. And this is why I always tell people like replays are really helpful for learning the game. More so, in my opinion, than just going and watching a streamer play, a game, or a YouTuber play a game, because like you have the ability to ask questions, you have the ability to really dive into some topic that you couldn't have otherwise. Like we paused it twice to talk about important stuff here, right?
Like that being able to talk about that is super important, because then you can, like, when you're in the thick of battle, you don't have time to make these decisions. You have to make it on the spot with information you have. But if you pause the replay, you get a lot more time to think, okay, so I could have seen this, so maybe my decision would have been different.
I love how the Forrest Sherman now, just, again, I don't know what to do, I'm going to advance. And he literally goes right into the Salem's radar. And before that, the Marsili on your team, I don't know what to do, I'm going to advance. And he left a perfect defensive position and got himself wrecked.
I guess the Marseille was like, we need to get a cap. And I understand that.
Yeah, so I'm going to come out in front of 2 ships and show flat broadside to him.
Yeah, I mean, his execution wasn't good, but...
Yeah. So,
like, you can't sit in your defensive position in A here, because then you have to assume you just lose, because you can't estimate that the whole enemy team suddenly decides to win harder.
That's right. Okay, well, hey, there's the radar and the kill. Good teamwork too with that WD guy. Hopefully, I'm sure you complimented him. So.
Yeah, I think I might have pinged in that area too, but
yes,
he also saw the torps. I'm pretty sure he knew roughly where Shima was too.
Yes, absolutely. So thank you very much for the replay, SAT. Appreciate it, and thank you for the support.
Thank you.